Hello everyone and welcome to another episode on the mrfilmart channel. My last video was about the best movies of 2021 and today we are going to start off 2022. Not by talking about any specific movie, but the 10 movies I am most excited about for this year. Let's get into it. Like I said in my last video, 2021 turned out being a pretty good year for movies overall. Pretty good, especially toward the end, which is typically how it goes. But here we are at the beginning of the year, and though we have to get saddled with the January slump, and which kind of leads into February and March, I kind of made a schedule of everything that's coming out. Nothing too great, except for a couple, which we may get to in a little bit. But here's to looking forward to another good year, hopefully, of movies. Let's hope people go back to the theaters. Let's start off with my number one pick for best or most excited about movies of 2021. And let me just preface this by saying it's not in date or release order, it's in alphabetical order. I did not rank them because obviously I have no preconceived notion of what these movies will be. These are purely alphabetically ordered, okay? So starting off with number one is The Batman, coming out on March 4th. So hey, I may have been a little overstated before about nothing good coming out the first 3 months. Or at least I hope, because again, all we have gotten from The Batman is 2 trailers and cryptic wording from the director, Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, who will play Batman, and Zoe Kravitz, who will play Catwoman. But the one who looks like he's having the most fun, honestly, is Colin Farrell in the trailers. He looks like he's having a ball of a time under all that prosthetic makeup. Am I ready for a new Batman movie? Who knows? Like, I'm kind of comic book movied out, and we'll talk about that. We already kind of talked about that in the 2021 wrap-up, but how can I deny Batman a slot on this list? Let's hope that it is as good as the trailer makes it out to be, even if it's really, really dark, which is my biggest fear for this movie. It looks like it is taking itself way too seriously, except for Colin Farrell, which is why I'm most excited for his performance. So, March 4th, The Batman. Let's get into the next one, which is Disappointment Boulevard. Oh boy. Now, there's no release date attached to this. I know close to nothing about it. All that I know is that it is an Ari Aster movie, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and quite honestly, what more do you need to know? I mean, the only other thing that I know is that Ari Aster has talked about that this movie may be close to 4 hours long, which is going to be wild, but I am here for every second of it. This is the man who directed Hereditary and Midsommar, 2 of my absolute favorite horror movies within the last 10 years, and I am hoping that this one caps off a horror trilogy, if it even is a horror. Who even knows what the genre is? I'm just so excited for this one. 3 is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So this comes out on March 25th, and stars Michelle Yeoh, and the trailer dropped a couple of weeks ago, and with all the googly eyes, I am all in on this one. This, quite honestly, is the only multiverse movie that I'm interested in seeing this year. I know Doctor Strange is going to involve it, but this seems like a more expansive and more interesting and more personal approach to the multiverse. And on top of it all, it's A24. It has the advantage of that. I'm sorry, but I am an A24 diehard, and this movie looks great. 4, Killers of the Flower Moon. Again, no release date, though I assume it will probably be December of 2022 because Apple wants all the Scorsese praise that they can get for this movie. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, and a whole cavalcade of actors. This is Scorsese's first foray into the Western genre, which excites me. If last year taught us anything, with Steven Spielberg specifically, it's that older directors who try something that they have loved for years, they'll get away with it. Spielberg crushed West Side Story. It wasn't my favorite movie of last year, nor was it in my top 10 or even top 15, but there was no denying you can just read the excitement off of that West Side Story movie from Spielberg. This feels comparable for Scorsese, who has talked at length about how much he loves Westerns. Specifically, I've heard him speak about The Searchers over and over again. So let's hope he brings some of that magic in, but he's Scorsese, so he will. Number 5 is Knives Out 2. Netflix bought the rights for the Knives Out franchise for close to $500 million. So they must have very high hopes for this movie franchise. And quite honestly, I can't blame them for having those feelings. That movie made a lot of money and was so much fun. For anyone who's followed me for a long period of time, you know that I'm a Rian Johnson head. I eat up a lot of what he serves, mostly because of the way he subverts his genre. Daniel Craig is coming back for this movie, which is all I really need to know, because his southern drawl is so overwrought and so hilarious, and just more insanity ensuing. That's going to be great. Number 6. Nope. That's the name of the title. That's the name of the movie. Comes out July 22nd and is the new Jordan Peele movie. Now, I don't think it's overstating the importance of Jordan Peele within the Hollywood landscape right now. Get Out is probably one of, if not the most influential and important movies that came out the last decade. Maybe second to The Social Network, maybe. But Get Out is clearly very important, and Us was exceptional as well. I don't care what the haters say about that one either. I loved Us. So the fact that this is going to be Jordan Peele getting back together with now Academy Award winner Daniel Kaluuya just excites me to no end. I have no idea what this movie is going to be about. I just know that Jordan Peele has a great way of picking from his toy boxes, and he's going to run wild with it, which excites me. Number 7, The Northmen, coming out on April 22nd, starring 2 Skarsgårds, not just one, but 2 Skarsgårds, Alexander and Stalin, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, and a bunch of other people. And more important to me, sorry to all those actors and actresses, you're all great, but to me what is most important is that it is directed by Robert Eggers. In fact, that is why this is on this list. The trailer came out a couple weeks ago, and I'll be honest, I was not blown away by the trailer. This looks more of like a conventional movie than Eggers really gets into most often, like The Lighthouse and The Witch are clearly not conventional movies. And there's a small section of me that's kind of sad that The Northmen will not be in the Old Norse language, shot on 4:3 black and white with like blood purges from the screen, but we're gonna get into what we got, and I'm looking very much forward to this movie because of Eggers directing. Number 8, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I can't undersell how much I loved Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It was one of, if not my favorite movie of 2018, and them to go back just excites me to no end, because of the way that they can play, not just with new characters, but new design standards, new technology in the animation field, because what they did in Into the Spider-Verse pushed animation to its boundaries, and I'm really hoping they continue to push in this one. The story excites me, but it's more just the visual feast that we are going to get that excites me even more. Number 9, Thor, Love and Thunder. This is the only Marvel movie that is on this list, and it is purely because of Taika Waititi's direction. Taika, like so many of the other directors on this list, has just become a staple to filmmaking. What he did with Thor in Ragnarok just it elevated something in that character and that universe to a whole new level. It played with what was already established, but had fun, which is something that the Marvel movies try and do. They kind of force fun and jokes on you, but when jokes land constantly, then you know you're in a good place, which is why I know Taika will take care of this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing Natalie Portman actually have a good role in a Marvel movie. Her as Jane Foster in the original movies, maybe not so much. The Guardians are going to be back, hopefully. So let's go have fun in this toy box, too. Lots of toys this year. And finally, number 10. This is going to be a ridiculous one, but it is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This is the Nick Cage movie that is about Nick Cage, but not about Nick Cage. The trailer came out for this movie about a month ago, and it just knocked me out with laughs. The way in which Nick Cage is portraying himself or willing to portray himself makes me so happy. For years, I've heard that he really has no sense of humor about himself, and he's subsequently said he has no intention of ever watching this movie. But the way in which he's willing to allow himself to play and have fun by being an over-the-top Nick Cage in a movie excites me to no end. Also, Pedro Pascal is in this movie, Tiffany Haddish, and a bunch of other actors and comedians that I love. So hopefully this movie will not be, let's be honest, this movie can go one of two ways. It can either be exceptionally well done in a meta commentary sort of way, or it can be really, really bad. And I am choosing optimism on this one and hoping it will be really good. All right, everyone. So that is my list of the 10 movies I am most excited for in 2022. Comment below. Let me know what you're most excited about this year. I'm sure I left off a bunch. I know I did, like Avatar 2, Don't Worry Darling, Turning Red, The Fabelman by Spielberg, Babylon. There's a whole list of movies. I know Doctor Strange and a bunch of other Marvel movies are coming out this year as well. But is Flashpoint coming out this year? I don't remember. I think it's coming out some point later this year. There are a lot of movies, regardless. That's why I want you to comment what your top 10 movies are. Also, while you're clicking some buttons, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. I can also be found on Instagram and Letterboxd at mrfilmart, or you can purchase some of my materials if you like what you see on Instagram, on Etsy, at the Mr. Filmart shop. So, with that, I will leave you and cut.